Thanks for staying with Bernama TV. I'm Jessie Chahal. Following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent stop here in Malaysia, we are seeing the comprehensive strategic partnership move from paper to practice, from the digital integration of UPI payments now to critical semiconductor security. The roadmap for Malaysia-India relations is being fundamentally redefined. Well, joining me live to unpack this evolving landscape is His Excellency Dato MUZAFAR Shah Mustafa, the High Commissioner of Malaysia to India. Dato, a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for taking out time.
Thank you very much for having me today.
It's such a crucial time as well that we speak because the Prime Minister of India has just left our shores, and it has been an eventful 48 hours. We've seen the Indian diaspora come out and also celebrate that relationship. Also, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim made a statement that it is a celebration and an awareness of a 2,000-year relationship and bond, and indeed that goes a long way. With the official visit now officially over, and I'm sure it was a busy time for you, as we look at the shifting global dynamics that's happening currently, from your perspective, what were some of the key significant outcomes of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Malaysia this time?
Thank you very much for your question, but I just would like to correct you a little bit. When you say a stop, so it makes a lot of difference when a Prime Minister come to Malaysia as just a stopover and also as a full visit, official visit. Of course, I think the visit comes at the opportune time for Malaysia and also India, because unfortunately the Prime Minister Modi was not able to make it during our ASEAN summit last year. So as he said, he made a promise to our Prime Minister to come at the earliest opportunity. So he
which is something he mentioned in his speech as well.
So he came. This is also came at a very important period when the global situation is facing a lot of uncertainties. Things are not business as usual anymore. We could not rely on our traditional market anymore. I think this is also important as a written visit by our Prime Minister to India in 2024, and this is also first time the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister, to receive Prime Minister Modi in his capacity as the Prime Minister of Malaysia in Malaysia. Because I need to mention this because our Prime Minister YB, our Prime Minister has also mentioned this, because the relationship has started even long before he was he's the Prime Minister. So he's very they have a close personal relationship, not only as the Prime Ministers of two countries. So this is how when the two Prime Ministers meet, because of this personal rapport. This would make the discussion more honest, and they can talk any issues with ease and with comfort without any any barriers. So this is important in terms of our bilateral relationship, and also this also come at a time when in 2024 we elevated our bilateral relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. This is very, very important. So both Prime Ministers, they had a discussion in New Delhi. So this time they was able to take stock of what they had discussed in New Delhi, and also how we can move forward in our bilateral relationship.
That's right. And you being at the epicenters, so to say, between the communications and bilateral relationship of both nations, this was actually Prime Minister Modi's third visit to Malaysia. From your perspective as well, how did you see this visit really benchmarking its difference from the previous visits? Also, previously Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim was in India the August before last. How exactly did that visit as well help to accelerate the momentum for Prime Minister Modi's visit to Malaysia?
Yeah, as you rightly said, this to keep the momentum that after the visit of our Prime Minister to India in 2024, and that was when we elevated our relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership, because it came as a very last minute decision when we talked to the Indian side. So they have decided to elevate the relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. But anyway, during the visit, there have been talks on the bilateral cooperation between Malaysia and India. So even that time, our Prime Minister has given 3 months for us to come up with the report on the action that has been taken after the visit. So this again, the visit would give the opportunity for both leaders to review and also to take stock of whatever has been achieved during the last visit, and also how we can put things in a more concrete steps in pushing forward our bilateral relationship between Malaysia and also India.
At the core of it, from some of these discussions, how would you describe the overall direction and what is really on the table in terms of priority for the Malaysia-India economic cooperation moving forward?
As has been been reported widely in terms of the deliverables of our visit recently, there has been exchange of various documents on various areas of cooperation. For example, like one of the areas is on semiconductor, for example. It was only an exchange of letters between Malaysia and India on how we can move forward in terms of our collaboration in semiconductor, because for Malaysia this is in line with our national semiconductor strategy, and as well as for India, because they are also pushing forward value chain or capability in semiconductor. So that was we exchange of letters, but later on we are going to come up with a memorandum of cooperation in semiconductor, where we're going to put a more concrete steps in these areas of cooperation. Other than that, there has also been issues of bilateral trade and also business between Malaysia and also India. So we are seeing, how this commitment at the highest level can be translated into a more real-term cooperation. So, but I just would like to highlight here what is important now, because the government has already, the two prime ministers has already opened the door. Is only, the private sector and also the businesses, they need to use this opportunity on how to look and to make things happen in terms of a concrete business transaction and also investment between Malaysia and also India.
Speaking of making things happen, bilateral trade has reached nearly $19 billion US. That was in 2025, with projections now even higher for the years 2026 and beyond. We also recently, of course, came to understand that the India's UPI, that is a Unified Payments Interface, that will be implemented here in Malaysia as well. Now, in reverse, it is Visit Malaysia year 2026, and I'm sure in terms of initiatives, what are some of the things or programs that you are doing to bring more Indian tourists and more interest of Indian business sector to the country?
Yeah, touching on the UPI and also the PayNet, collaboration in terms of making payment easier, especially for tourists on both sides. I think this is a very good step that would promote in terms of the tourism industry and also tourism exchanges between Malaysia and also India. Since last year, we have been actively doing a lot of campaigns in promoting Visit Malaysia year 2026. I think thank you to the decision by the Malaysian government in providing a visa free to Indian tourists to come to Malaysia for 30 days. There has been helping to promote tourism in Malaysia, and there's been a lot of Indian tourists coming to Malaysia. Last year alone, we have registered close to 1.5 million Indian tourists tourists or arrivals from India to Malaysia. And one thing good about Indian tourists, according to Minister of Tourism, they are one of the highest spender when they come to Malaysia. So this is very positive about Indian tourists. So we should welcome more Indian tourists, and now for this year we are targeting around 2 million Indian tourists. This is also, I think, there's some issues that we discussed during the visit of Prime Minister Modi in India, that we need to enhance the connectivity between Malaysia and also India, because under the air services agreement between Malaysia and India, they have some limit in terms of number, for example, especially in terms of the landing rights between two countries. So this has been raised during the visit, and Prime Minister Modi has promised that he would ask the relevant agency to look into this, how we can increase the landing rights, especially the interest from Malaysian carriers to have more landing rights in different cities in India.
So obviously the state of affairs are in fifth gear to make sure that all systems are go between both countries and both nations. We spoke a little bit about the supply chain earlier, but also the fact that food security was one of the discussion points, including healthcare as well. Did Prime Minister Modi's visit result in any new pledges in terms of ensuring supply chain or exchange for food security, in terms of that resilience amidst what's going on globally as well?
Yeah, talking about food security, a single component of our trade with India, the largest component is supply of palm oil from Malaysia to India. We have to remember that India is a very big nation, with a population of 1.2 billion. So they require, for example, like yearly close to 25 million of metric tons of vegetable oil, and Malaysia is supplying around 3 million metric ton of palm oil every year. So now Indian government is also trying to develop their own palm oil industry, and then of course they are also seeking Malaysia's assistance in terms of the know-how in the palm oil industry. So this is also one of the areas that we are talking with India. And on the Malaysian side, we rely also from India, especially one of the main or important component our bilateral trade is also import of various agriculture products from India, especially, for example, like rice and also onion. So there has been ongoing talk between bilateral discussion how we can make sure that the consistent supply from India and also the consistent supply from Malaysia in terms of the palm oil. As far as the palm oil and also food security is concerned, India is also under the current government is also putting a lot of emphasis on self-reliant India. It's not only in the industrial sector but also in the food sector. These are the areas of collaboration that we are looking at. For example, like Malaysia, in terms of working with India in support of their palm oil industry. Similarly, for Malaysia, we are also looking at India for supply of various agriculture products.
Well, India and Malaysia signed 11 memorandums of understanding covering various sectors, and one of the main areas that really interests me is the area of AI, that I think there has been a lot of conversation for India as a nation itself, but then also for us here in Malaysia. Are there any concrete roadmaps that were established during this recent visit to create perhaps something of a joint technology hub or something to that effect?
Yeah, AI, talking about AI, India will be hosting a very big summit soon later in this month, AI Impact Summit. So there will be world leaders and also high delegation be attending this World AI Impact Summit. So there will be also representation from Malaysia. At the moment, our Minister of Digital will be attending. So this, but this is, talking about the multilateral, collaboration. But as far as bilateral cooperation, we have not spoken any specific areas of cooperation in AI, but of course I think there's always a platform because we have the digital Malaysia India Digital Council, which we are going to look into how we can also collaborate on AI. And then also there is also several MOUs between Malaysian companies and also Indian Ministry of Digital on in promoting digital and also the startup. So these are the areas that I think as follow up to this visit also, we need to firm up all these areas of cooperation in information technology as well as AI.
I'm sure it's going to be a busy year ahead for you, in particular in terms of to ensure that all of this that has been discussed is something that will come to fruition. We speak about regional security, defense, but then also education. But at this point, Your Excellency, there are over 200,000 Malaysians who hold the PIO card, which is the People of Indian Origin card.
OCI card.
The OCI or PIO, yeah. In terms of taking our talent and having that exchange, is there anything you see that can be a short-term gain for us?
I think this is a program by the Indian government that they introduced this program to Indian origin that is currently a citizen of other countries to apply for this card. I think Indian government is also see how they can capitalize their so-called diaspora or Indian origin of a citizen of other countries that can also contribute in terms of bridging India and also other countries. So in this case, as you mentioned, about 200,000 Malaysian who are holders of this card. I think because of the shared history and also cultural similarities between Malaysia and also India, this could also play important and crucial roles in bridging Malaysia and India. As what Prime Minister mentioned during the community gathering, Malaysia hosts the second largest Indian population of Indian origin outside India.
Outside the US, in fact, the US being the biggest and then followed by Malaysia.
Yeah. I mean, Malaysia is the second one after the US. So this is how the Indian government see their diaspora that is outside India that can help to bridge India with other countries. So I think we also can take that advantage because as we host second largest Indian diaspora outside India. So we can be a living bridge between Malaysia and also India.
I like that, the living bridge. Now, beyond trade as well, there was a lot about defense. That was something that was high on the agenda. How do you view that alignment between Malaysia's, sort of a Look East approach as well as India's Act East approach in maintaining stability within the Indo-Pacific region?
Yeah, India has come up with their own initiative, Indo-Pacific initiative, and this is also aligned with ASEAN Indo-Pacific priorities that set by ASEAN. There is a collaboration between ASEAN and India on this Indo-Pacific, but I think we are talking about the same interest in terms of maintaining the freedom of navigation, maintaining the rule of law in terms of our collaboration with India. Although we don't have land border with India, but we have maritime borders. So that's why I think India is putting a lot of interest in collaborating with not only Malaysia but in general ASEAN countries in maritime security. So of course I think in the extension of what as you mentioned about the defense, currently India has developed their own defense industry. So they have been also trying to promote collaboration in defense, especially not only their indigenous technology, but they also has developed capability in terms of the I mean like military equipment from other countries. For example, like we share with India, because our military also use Sukhoi as well as for example like Scorpion.
Right.
So they have developed for example like in terms of the maintenance of those equipment, as well as also supplying some certain parts of the equipment. So these are the collaboration that we are also talking with India. In fact, we have already procured some of the component from India, because they are offering a more competitive price as compared to the original price from the original country.
Right, well that's progress there. This meeting as well also signified the fact that both countries remembering the history, the bond together, also looking forward towards growth. What would you say is some of the salient discussion points or perhaps interest that has not really been highlighted in the media? Having an inside scoop, Your Excellency, what could you share with us that's perhaps off the grid?
Not the one that not mentioned by the media, but maybe perhaps from my own perspective after 2 years spending my time in as a High Commissioner in India. So I think there's still, despite I think as we discussed earlier, I mean Malaysian Indian community, big Malaysian Indian community, and also in general, I think most Malaysian would know India. But I don't think in general, I can say in general, many Malaysians would understand India. What India is. Maybe when we talk about India, it's only like maybe New Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, but India is more than what we can imagine as a Malaysian. India is a diverse country. They have like 28 states and also union territories, and different states, I mean they speak different language, maybe they also practice different culture. So this is the thing that maybe not many Malaysians would understand. And unfortunately, I have to say this, somehow media would only pick up all the most of the time pick up all the maybe interesting news, which is normally is not very
the eye-catching lines.
Yeah, not very positive. I hope there will be more role that media can play to make Malaysian understand India more. So in relation to this also, I think even when we talk about the business community, there has been I mean like I don't know, maybe for a reason known to them, I mean maybe also because of the complacent having I mean our traditional partners and traditional market. But I hope there will be more interest from Malaysian businesses to come and to understand India more, because I'm comparing this not only among, for example, like European or from the Middle East, but also among our neighbors. I think we are still lacking in terms of our business interest in India. I mean, those who are present in India, they would know, but I think we need to more awareness among the Malaysian businesses about the potential that India can offer, as the fastest growing major economy. And India soon is expected to move as the currently they are already like fourth in terms of the largest economy, but they are moving into third position. This is expected, or the forecast will be maybe another few years. So I think the potential is there. It's a very big market, so Malaysian companies should come and explore India.
Which is exactly the note I wanted to proceed on. sometimes these discussions and MOUs can feel a little distant from the ordinary Malaysian. How is this visit really expected to translate into tangible benefits for the rakyat in terms of jobs, investments, and even business or industry growth?
Yeah, this is what I think the government, as I mentioned earlier, trying to open doors, but the real term would come from the businesses. The business transaction that's going to happen. So again, it can come in different ways. For example, when our economy is thriving, we have a market to sell our products, and also in terms of the tourists that are coming. So these are the areas that we are talking, and we have agreed in terms of what the exchange of MOUs. So this eventually would benefit the people at large. In terms of when our industry is thriving, the tourists are coming, so it also contribute to the country's economy.
As with all important discussions, we run out of time. Your Excellency, under 30 seconds perhaps, what's your message to the Malaysian people about India and about perhaps exploring businesses in India?
Yeah, please come and explore India. If you rely on media, you will not understand India.
Come see for
fully.
yourself.
Yeah, come see for yourself as tourists. This is what we are trying to promote. People to people connect. So we hope you come and you would understand and take all the opportunities in terms of trying to bring the two countries
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for coming in and of course sharing your perspective on Prime Minister Modi's recent visit to Kuala Lumpur. Well, it's clear the bridge between Kuala Lumpur and New Delhi is stronger than ever, spanning from high-tech hubs to the digital wallets in our pockets. We'd like to thank His Excellency Dato' MUZAFAR Shah Mustafa for that valuable insight. Well, that's all the time we have for now. For the latest developments, do visit Bernama.com. You could also follow us on our social media platforms for more updates, and if you're on the go, then Bernama Radio at 93.9 FM will follow you anywhere you go. This has been Bernama World right here on Bernama TV. I'm Jessie CHAHAL. Thanks for watching.